In 1979, Iran experienced a political earthquake. The monarchy of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi collapsed after months of unrest, protests, and revolution. What followed was not just a change of leadership, but a transformation that reshaped the Middle East for generations. The fall of the Shah, long viewed by many Iranians as a Western-backed ruler closely aligned with the United States and the United Kingdom, meant Washington and London lost one of their most important allies in the region. The centuries-old monarchy was replaced by an Islamic Republic built on clerical rule. At the center of this revolution stood Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, its spiritual architect. Among his closest students and loyal followers was a cleric named Ali Khamenei, a man who would eventually become one of the most powerful figures in modern Middle Eastern history.
Welcome to Find the Stories. Please subscribe to the channel, like, share, and comment to support the channel.
Khamenei had been active in opposing the Shah throughout the 1960s and 1970s. Because of his political activism, he was arrested and imprisoned multiple times. When the revolution succeeded and Khomeini returned to Tehran from exile in France to massive crowds, Khomeini quickly rose through the new system. He served on the Revolutionary Council, became a lawmaker, and later Deputy Defense Minister. He also played a role in strengthening the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which would grow into one of the most influential military forces in Iran. In 1981, Khomeini survived an assassination attempt that left his right arm permanently paralyzed. Later that same year, after President Mohammad Ali Rajai was assassinated, Khomeini ran for office and became Iran's third president. At the time, the presidency was largely a secondary role compared to the authority of the supreme leader. But history would soon change his position dramatically. When Ayatollah Khomeini died in June 1989, Iran faced a critical leadership decision. The Assembly of Experts selected Khomeini as the new supreme leader, even though he did not hold the highest traditional clerical rank required under the Constitution. Soon after, constitutional amendments were introduced, emphasizing political leadership over purely religious credentials. That moment marked the beginning of a rule that has lasted more than 3 decades. As supreme leader, Khomeini became the ultimate authority over Iran's military, judiciary, media, and key state institutions. While presidents came and went, including Ali Akbar Hashemi Rafsanjani, Mohammad Khatami, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, and Hassan Rouhani, real power remained firmly in his hands. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, tensions grew between reformist politicians seeking openness and conservatives determined to preserve revolutionary principles. The disputed 2009 presidential election triggered the Green Movement, the largest protests since 1979. The demonstrations were crushed, and the state reasserted control. In 2015, Iran signed a landmark nuclear agreement with world powers. Although Khomeini approved the deal, he consistently warned against trusting the United States. When President Donald Trump withdrew from the agreement in 2018 and reimposed sanctions, Iran's economy suffered deeply, fueling new waves of protests. In November 2019, demonstrations over fuel prices spread nationwide. Security forces responded forcefully. Then in 2022, the death of Mahsa Amini, while in morality police custody, sparked months of nationwide unrest, with some protesters directly calling for the supreme leader's removal. Khomeini blamed foreign powers for stirring instability. On the international stage, Khamenei positioned Iran as the core of what he calls the axis of resistance, an alliance including Syria, Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, the Houthis in Yemen, and Palestinian armed groups. Since 1979, Iran and Israel have remained bitter adversaries, And Khamenei has repeatedly taken a hardline stance against Israel, while accusing the United States of interference across the region. For years, Israeli leaders, particularly Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, warned that Iran was moving toward nuclear weapons capability. While U.S. intelligence assessments have varied, tensions continue to rise. Recently, those tensions escalated dramatically. Israeli airstrikes targeted Iranian nuclear facilities and senior military figures. Iran responded with missile attacks. The United States later carried out strikes on key Iranian sites, widening the confrontation. Now, with a fragile ceasefire in place, reports suggest that Khamenei has taken security precautions and identified potential successors should anything happen to him. After more than 35 years at the top of Iran's power structure, Ali Khamenei remains one of the most influential and controversial leaders in the Middle East. His leadership has defined Iran's domestic policies, its regional alliances, and its confrontation with the West. And as the region stands at another historic crossroads, the question remains, what comes after Khamenei, and what direction will Iran take next?